Hello guys, welcome to my channel Chem Insider. So in today's class we are going to discuss about the last topic of haloalkane and haloarine chapter, that is polyhalogen compounds. So carbon atoms, as we have known until now, forms multiple carbon chloride bonds or carbon bromide or carbon iodide bonds. Simply we can call them as multi-carbon halogen bonds, which are clearly said as the compounds which have more than two chlorine atoms, more than one chlorine atoms, are called multi-halogen bonds, or it is also called as polyhalogen compounds. So there are certain polyhalogen compounds which are of main use in our normal day-to-day life. So we'll discuss about 6 of those and their particular uses of those compounds to human nature and effects of those compounds on human nature also. So now first we'll discuss about, first one we are going to discuss about is dichloromethane. Dichloromethane, this is also called as methylene dichloride or methylene dichloride. It is also called as methylene dichloride. So first we'll discuss certain uses of it and then we'll find out its effects on humans. So first, for the users, they are mainly, most of the polyhalogen compounds are used as propellants for aerosols. So they are used as propellants in aerosols. They are used as propellants in aerosols, and they are also used as refrigerants. They are also used as refrigerants in fridge and AC. Next, it are also used as certain chemical compounds. It is also used to prepare certain chemical compounds, and those chemical compounds are further used for certain chemical preparation of drugs. So they are used for preparation of, they are also used for preparation of drugs. And in the earlier stages of its discovery, it was found that it can be used for cleaning and giving a proper finishing for metals. So metals were cleaning and finishing property. It has a cleaning and a finishing property with respect to metals. So if you take a metal, if it has a rust over it, it does not have a proper finishing. So in order to give a perfect finishing like a smooth surface, dichloromethane was used. So these are the certain uses of dichloromethane. Now we'll discuss about its effects on environment. So what it does, if a human being comes in contact with dichloromethane at low concentration, so if you are coming in contact with low concentration of dichloromethane, you will have itchiness on your skin. And it will just cause you some kind of numbness. It causes you numbness. At low concentration, humans can feel numbness and itchiness when they come in contact with low concentration of dichloromethane. If you come across with a high concentration of dichloromethane, you will have a defect on your central nervous system, which results in impairment in hearing and vision. So if you might lose your hearing and vision capabilities if you come in contact with high concentration of dichloromethane. Next is, if you are exposed more to the dichloromethane present on the atmosphere, your skin will start to burn. So they will have a skin burning because of the dichloromethane present in the atmosphere. So these are the uses and effects of dichloromethane. Next is chloroform. So chloroform is used as solvent for many organic substances. It is acting as a good solvent for compounds such as fats and alkaloids, etc. We also use this in certain preparation of haloalkane compounds also. It is a very good solvent for fats and alkaloids. They are initially used for preparing tetrafluoro or trifluorocarbon compounds. they are used for preparing or manufacture of CF2Cl2. They are used in the manufacture of CF2Cl2, and further, initially in the earlier days it was used as an anesthetic drug for carrying out an operation. If you have to carry out an operation in certain organs, they used to give chloroform as an anesthetic drug, where the person will lose his consciousness and you won't feel any cut or stitch when you are doing an operation. So it was initially used as an anesthetic drug in the initial days, but later they found out it has some toxicity present in them, so therefore it was replaced by ether. This chloroform, when comes in for the effects, when this chloroform comes in contact with oxygen, especially in the higher pressure area in the ozone layer, what happens is this chloroform CHCl3 reacts with ozone to form COCl2. So oxycarbonate chloride or carbon oxychloride, so which is very harmful for human beings. It causes itchiness and numbness of skin burn, etc. And further, it is a strong anesthetic compound and it causes complete damage of central nervous system damage. So it causes a central nervous system damage also. So this is about the uses and effects of carbon tetrafluoride. Next we'll discuss about iodoform. This was chloroform. Next is iodoform. So iodoform, we don't have much of its uses. Usually it is completely a toxic substance. We won't use it for the more of the compounds. So iodoform compounds are nothing but iodoforms are nothing but CHI3. Iodoforms are CHI3. So these iodoforms are not much of an use, but one thing is it causes some kind of a damage to human beings because it has certain iodine dissolved in it. So when this iodoform comes in contact with human beings, it releases iodine. So on contact with human beings, it releases iodine, which causes certain damage for our skins. Okay, so iodoform it does not have much of a use, but what happens when it comes in contact with human beings is it releases iodine, which is clearly dangerous for your skin. It might cause you skin burn, etc. Next is the fourth one, that is carbon tetrachloride. Very important compound of polyhalogen, that is carbon tetrachloride. So this carbon tetrachloride is importantly a good solvent for many of the organic compounds. So the uses of carbon tetrachloride is, first we write the name, carbon tetrachloride. It is also called as tetrafluorocarbon, tetrafluoromethane. So now carbon tetrachloride is generally used as refrigerants. It is used as refrigerant and also used as propellants in aerosol of ACs. So it is usually found in refrigerant and propellant of AC and refrigerators. What it does is it has certain specific uses. It is also a good solvent. It is also a good solvent for certain organic compounds. The effect which causes is very dangerous for human being. When they come in contact with ozone, they deplete the ozone layer to form respective carbon oxychloride, as we found in the chloroform compound also. When they come in contact with ozone, they damage the ozone layer. They cause ozone layer damage, which later results in release of UV radiations from the sun's atmosphere. And further, they cause eye irritation. Numbness, and they also damage the central nervous systems of human beings. Okay, they also damage the central nervous system of human beings. This CCl4 is converted to CF2Cl2 using Schwarz process. Using Schwarz process, that is nothing but the ion exchange process which we have discussed in the chemical properties of haloalkane. So when carbon tetrachloride is subjected for a Schwarz process, it undergoes halogen exchange to form CF2Cl2, difluorocarbon, which completely destroys the stratosphere. Present in the Earth's atmosphere. So next, these are the CCl4 carbon tetrachloride uses and effects. Next we'll discuss about difluorocarbon. Difluoromethane is also called as carbon difluoride dichloride. This also has a particular name called freon. So this freon is prepared by carbon tetrachloride, using carbon tetrachloride. When we treat carbon tetrachloride with F2, such as example of HgF2, and undergoes Schwarz process to form CF2Cl2. It forms CF2Cl2. They don't have any uses. They have certain uses. That is nothing but used as refrigerant and as propellant. But the effect which they cause is they cause damage of ozone layer, and they further cause damage of stratosphere. Okay, so these are the uses and effects of freon, which is also called as difluoromethane. Now for the last polyhalogen compound, that is para-para-prime diphenyl trichloroethane. That is nothing but our DDT compounds. Last one is DDT, which is called diphenyl trichloroethane. Diphenyl trichloroethane. So this is nothing but DDT. Here it has a bond of para-para prime compound. So if you write down the structure of that is CCl. We have carbon with hydrogen, and we have two phenyl groups which has a para-chloro present in it. So this is para-para prime diphenyl trichloroethane. So this diphenyl trichloroethane is a compound which was initially used for destroying certain insects. So therefore it is considered as an insecticide. It is an organic compound, so therefore it is called as organic. It is an organic insecticide. And for the discovery of this, its scientist was awarded Nobel Prize in the year 1933. So later it found initially it was used in an enormous amount for destroying certain mosquitoes. It also cuts down the malarial expansion and also cut down some lice expansion, which causes a disease called IMFERS. So those all diseases were completely cut down by use of DDT. That is, they controlled malaria. They controlled the spread of malaria. So therefore he was awarded that Nobel Prize. And further, later in the years, so initially people started to use this DDT extensively, but later it was found out that it has a very slow metabolism in animals. That is, let us say if you have some ants or mosquitoes on your garden and you spread the DDT powder on the garden, okay? So what happens if a cow or any beef eats down those grasses? Those DDT are not completely destroyed on the green grasses, and those grasses will be accumulated eaten by the cows. which results in cows eating this insecticide. Okay, what happens here is the animals like goats, sheep or cows which eat those grass which had DDT powder in it will be collected on the fat tissues of animals. So, since it has a very slow metabolism, it does not undergo complete decomposition for later. So therefore, when a person eats a goat or sheep which also has a DDT in it, what happens is that person can have a vomiting sensation when he comes in contact with DDT, and he further can have certain difficult toxic problems also. Okay, it also has some toxic contents in it. So therefore, if a human being comes in contact with this DDT powder, he might experience vomiting sensation and toxic nature in his body. Okay, so this is all about the uses and effects of polyhalogen compounds. So I have explained complete chapter of haloalkanes and haloanes up to now. In the next class we are going to discuss about the second chapter from physical chemistry, that is of the solutions. If you have any doubt regarding this haloalkanes and haloanes chapter, please do comment down below. You can also mail those doubts to my mail ID which I have provided in the description box. I'll also give the entire playlist of this haloalkanes and haloalkanes in the description box. If you haven't watched the previous video, please do go through them. And if you understand my concepts of explanation, please do subscribe to my channel and share this among your friends. Thank you for watching.